What's going on, family? Adrian McGee here, and I am a business strategist that helps entrepreneurs be able to grow and scale their business without growing the level of stress that is normally required when most entrepreneurs grow their business. So if you get any value from this video, make sure you like, subscribe, share with another entrepreneur. And look, y'all, there's a ton of previous videos that we have dropped that is literally intended to help you as a founder, a business owner, as a CEO, become a person who owns an asset versus owning another 9-to-5 job that's just a little bit more glorified because it's a 9-to-5 job that you created. So let's jump into it, family. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see from entrepreneurs is that they don't value their time enough. And what that means is they haven't actually put a value on what their time is actually worth, because if they did, they would do a lot of things a lot differently. CEOs at large corporations, they pay their CEOs around $350 per hour on average, right? This is a national average if you look it up. But it turns out that most entrepreneurs, when they're growing their business, they don't value their time at the same capacity, because if they did, then they will prevent themselves from doing a lot of activities that they can delegate, because they realize that there's massive opportunity being wasted in their business if the person who has a $350 per hour responsibility is doing things that they can pay someone $10, $15 per hour to do. And I'm going to show you how you can actually hire someone for $5 per hour to actually come in and do this stuff. And what you'll find is that every large corporation, they will never allow their CEO to do certain activities because they know the value of their CEO's time. Now, as a small business owner, the value of the CEO's time is even more important, because it literally determines the growth of the business. The growth of the business 100% relies on where the CEO is spending their time. And if a CEO is spending time doing a bunch of things that they have no business doing, it is going to prevent the business from growing, but it's also going to add more stress to the CEO, because they are lacking something that we all need as we grow our business, which is clarity. So most entrepreneurs are actually operating in chaos. They're checking all their emails. They're checking all their Instagram and Facebook DMs. They're responding to customer complaints. They're probably doing sales calls, right? They are fulfilling the client. They're creating content for social media. They're doing all of these different things. And so therefore, they can never operate in the place of having clarity on their business and the things that they should be doing. Most entrepreneurs, when they come to me, especially newer entrepreneurs, one of the things that they say is, they say, hey, I'm doing a lot of things, but I don't know if I'm doing the right things. And what I can tell you is there are certain things as a CEO that you should not be doing. And that is 100% because you can hire someone else to do it at a really cheap rate that allows you to really focus on the things that you're supposed to, which is going to be two things. It's either you should be making the business money, or you should be doing things that you actually enjoy. Because why did you start a business in the first place if all you're doing is doing tasks that don't make you money, and you're also doing tasks that you don't enjoy? That's how you create a 9-to-5 that you actually hate. And it's actually worse than working a 9-to-5, because if you're not doing things that make money for the business, guess what? You don't get paid. You don't get to pay your bills. You can't pay any team member at all. But when I reveal this one hire that you should make in your business, is going to give you the amount of clarity that is necessary for you to work on those things that you should be working on, to give you more freedom, to allow you to make more income, and also be able to build a business for the reason that you started it in the first place, for you to be able to acquire freedom. Now, you might be wondering, what is the position that you should hire for just $5 per hour? Well, let me tell you this. It's not a marketing hire. It's not going to be a video editor. It's not going to be a ads manager. It's not going to be a sales rep. It's not going to be any of these things. The position that you need to hire is going to be an executive admin. And here's exactly why. As a CEO, as a business owner, a lot of people start to have direct access to you. And one of the ways that you are going to block the growth of your business is by allowing any and everyone to hit you up to be involved in every conversation, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to hit you up for reasons that they really shouldn't be talking to you at all. Now, what you need a barrier. And the reason that you need a barrier is because of something called the 25-minute rule. The 25-minute rule says that anytime we are locked in and we are focusing on something, anytime we get distracted, even if it's for a few minutes, it actually drives our productivity back by 25 minutes. On average, it takes 25 minutes to get back on focus if I'm locked in on something and I get distracted. So a lot of people will think, oh, well, I only stopped for a second to have this conversation. I only stopped for a second to reply to this DM, or I only stopped for a second to reply to this email. You might think that that's only costing you 2 to 5 minutes to do that response or whatever, but in reality, it's actually costing you 25 minutes of productivity. So if you're operating throughout your day and you're constantly getting distracted, even if it's for a few minutes, you can actually be holding yourself back by a few hours, multiple times throughout the week because you constantly get distracted. Now, imagine if there was a barrier in place, if there was someone who was responsible for being the first point of contact before they talk to you. Imagine if someone was a filter that basically said, hey, you can't get to this person without going through me. And this was a position that I hired that changed my life because I was someone who would be attentive to everyone, right? We became entrepreneurs because we wanted to provide more impact for people. And so we think at times when we first start our businesses that impact requires our time. And so we are automatically jumping to any and everyone who wants to have a conversation with us, and it causes a huge distraction. Now, this executive admin is also going to be responsible for managing your calendar, meaning that if someone does want to have a conversation with you, they get booked onto a calendar versus just being able to call you directly and be able to distract you from anything that you have going on. Imagine if instead of someone being able to text you or write you on Instagram and say, hey, I want to work with you or whatever they're asking, imagine if there was someone that said, hey, thanks for reaching out. This is the executive admin for Adrian. Let's get you scheduled on a calendar, right? And that way you can start to organize your schedule, because that's another reason most entrepreneurs can't stay focused is because their schedule is so sporadic. Like they allow any and everything to come in and just collide with what they have going on. And as you guys can imagine, managing a business is a lot of work, right? And so if we're not organized and we allow a lot of distractions to come in and basically take us away from whatever we're focusing on, our week is going to be super chaotic, and we can't grow a business in chaos. We have to be able to move into clarity, and an executive admin's sole responsibility is to free you up so that way you can have clarity on your business. So that way it's easier to work on those activities that's going to allow your business to grow. Another thing with an executive admin is also to hold you accountable. I don't want an executive admin that lets me run over them. An executive admin is going to be very strict as far as what your scheduling is, reminding you about the things on your schedule, keeping you organized, managing the personal tasks that you have in your personal life and your business. Because my executive admin, they don't just tell me what to do with my business. If I have a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, or I need to pay a bill, or I need to, cancel a subscription, right? Whatever that is, I always just send it to my executive admin. And now I'm to the point now where my fiance, if she wants me to do something, she now knows to text my executive admin to have it be put on the schedule. And that's how I'm able to stay organized and stay focused and really show up as the best version of myself in whatever I do for my business, because my brain isn't scattered. It's not jumping all over the place. I can literally focus on things just like recording this video, understanding that I won't get distracted as I do it. So this is very important. You have to be able to move from operating in chaos to clarity. Now you might be wondering, okay, Adrian, you are saying I can hire an executive admin, but how do I get this person to come in for $5 per hour? Well, what we do is we hire from the Philippines. We hire from the Philippines because this is an amazing country with a lot of people who are already trained on helping business owners in the US. English is literally like the second language for most of the people from the Philippines. And it's the same thing that a lot of big corporations do. Whenever you call into Verizon or any type of customer service, you're probably talking to someone from the Philippines. And if you get the right person, there's going to be someone that can talk clear English, that can actually have conversations with people trying to reach out to you. They can write in clear English so that way they respond and it still looks professional. And this is also someone who already has experience being an executive admin. You don't have to go and find someone brand new and have them become an executive admin. There's people with already years and years of experience doing the same thing that you require, and they're looking for opportunities. There's so many people in this country. And now the beautiful thing about the Philippines is that the people who are working for people in the US, and they work for people all over the world, honestly, but specifically the US, they're very loyal. Like they prefer to work with a smaller entrepreneur than they do with working at a big corporation like T-Mobile or Sprint, because like they're treated like a number there, right? It's a little bit more tough. Like typically they got to come into the office and travel and drive. An executive admin in the Philippines is able to work from home, so they're still managing their life. They still work during the day, the times that you're available, because the country is so cultured, to pretty much have this mentality of working what they call the graveyard shift, meaning that they're working overnight because they're 12 hours ahead from the US. If it's 9 a.m. here, is 9 p.m. there, but they're already used to working overnight. And if you get the right person, they're going to be able to pretty much be super responsive. You got to make sure they have good internet connection, but they're going to be super responsive. They're going to be able to manage things just as if it was someone in the US, but it doesn't cost you the high price tag. It's only going to cost you sometimes even $4, but mostly around $5 per hour. Now imagine this. Imagine being a business owner, and let's say you're working on going to hit that 10K per month mark, or even say you're someone who's at 50K per month and you're trying to get to 100K. Imagine only spending $800 a month to have a 40-hour per week person come in and help you manage your schedule, hold you accountable, respond to people who wants to reach out to you, and really allow you to get that clarity. Is that worth it in your business? I think it's a no-brainer, especially if you're someone who acknowledges the fact that your time is worth at least $350 per hour. I actually believe that your time is worth $500 to $1,000 per hour on the low side, right? And so every time that you are doing something in your business that this $5 per hour person can do, you're losing hundreds and hundreds of dollars of opportunity because you're spending time doing the wrong things in the business. And once you get this level of clarity, now you can focus on, okay, now I can hire someone else because I can actually sit down and lay out the responsibilities of this person. I can actually sit down and train other people because I'm not being distracted as I train this person. Now you might be wondering, where do I actually hire someone to become an executive admin? I'll give you a few. The first one is onlinejobs.ph. This is a really cool website. I don't use it as much as I used to because I found a better way that I'm going to share with you in a second. But onlinejobs.ph is an amazing platform. Another one is going to be Upwork. Upwork, I believe, is going to be a little bit more expensive, but you're going to find more qualified people there as well. The other thing about Upwork that I don't like as much, but Upwork is still an amazing platform. It can still work. But if they're on Upwork, they're more than likely working multiple responsibilities. And I personally don't like my executive admin working for other people. I want them to only work for me. And so Upwork, typically they're getting a lot of opportunity. So therefore they're probably working different opportunities. Now, the final place that I think is the best absolute place to get an executive admin is going to be Facebook groups. So if you go on Facebook groups and you literally search executive admins Philippines, you'll find a bunch of Facebook groups where there are literally a pool of people who are looking for opportunities. And so if you go there, make the right post, make the right job posting, you can easily get someone who's qualified, who has experience for a pretty good rate. And so Facebook groups have actually been a way that we've been able to get a lot of our virtual assistants over the past 3 or 4 years. We've worked with over 100 virtual assistants. We place them inside of businesses. So if you want to take the best way, which I believe is going to be to work with me, if you want us to essentially help you set up your systems and hire a virtual assistant and place them inside of your business, that is something that we can help you with. And I'll put it in the description so you guys could do that as well, where we'll work with you, hire this person, and also make sure that they're a good fit for your business and things like that. But also, I provided you 3 other resources where you can easily find these virtual assistants and place them inside of your business, especially as an executive admin. It is such a common role. These people are already skilled in managing inboxes. They're already skilled in responding to people. They're already skilled in calling and talking to people. They're already skilled in holding you accountable to your schedule. They already know how to handle these things, right? And now you can have a level of clarity that allows you to execute and truly grow your business without adding more stress to yourself. So now you know what an executive admin is, the value that they can bring to you, where to actually go get this person, and you understand the importance of your time and why you need this person on your team to be able to grow your business. The next thing is to talk about the things not to do. All right. Now, first things first, you want to make sure that you have standard operating procedures for anyone that you bring on. You want to make sure that you clearly show what are the things that they should be doing on a day-to-day basis. Now, the beautiful thing is in today's age, in 2025, as I record this video, is that ChatGPT is available. So if you go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, hey, I am looking to hire this person. Here's what I do. I am the CEO of this business. Here's a lot of things that I need help with. ChatGPT is going to be able to give you exactly what it is, the roles and responsibilities, the daily tasks that this person should be doing. So that way it's easier to onboard this person. Because what I see with most people when they hire, not just an executive admin, but anybody, they literally get this person started. And when they get this person started, they just basically throw them to the wolves. Hey, here you go. Go do these things. And what you really want to do is you want to make sure you spend time with this person. And when I say spend time with this person, I mean daily huddles. You should be meeting with this person every day for at least the first 2 weeks when they get started for just 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be long, but just meet with this person and set expectations. Tell them what you have going on. Tell them what you need help with, right? Tell them, what's on your schedule, what shouldn't be on your schedule. Tell them the dates that you're traveling and things like this, because people will waste a lot of money by hiring these people and not really leveraging to the best of their abilities. The best way to leverage a virtual assistant is to actually meet with them. I can't tell you how many people will hire someone and then never talk to them. They literally just write them on WhatsApp all day. No, get on Zoom and meet with this person every single day for 2 weeks straight. And honestly, spend some time actually training them on the things that you have going on. Train them on your business. Give them insight into what's actually going on, because they're actually interested. And yes, it might seem as though we don't have time to train these people at the beginning, but you got to make time, because what you're going to do is you're going to end up clearing your schedule up so much, and it's going to provide such a massive benefit to you and your business if you actually invest the time and energy into getting this person trained up to be a really good executive admin. And the thing is, you can start off having no standard operating procedures, right? No documentation on how your processes work. But when this person takes over those responsibilities, they can be responsible for creating those standard operating procedures, so that way you can have them in-house, they can have clarity, you can review them, you know what they're doing every single day, and it makes it easy. Virtual assistants, especially executive admins, whatever, they will take advantage of you if you allow them to. So you need to make sure that you're doing reporting with your executive admin. Send me a report at lunch every day. Send me a report at the end of the day. End of day reports literally changed our business, because now I have so much clarity into what's going on, and I don't have to micromanage people. I can literally look at their end of day reports and have full clarity on what's going on. So that's something that we always do, is we set expectations, we meet with our people, and we make sure that they provide us midday and end of day reports. Super important. Now, another thing, what not to do is just to give this person access to everything. You do need to build trust with this person. Yes, you could put things in place such as LastPass, which is a really cool software that allows you to basically share passwords with people. And you can share passwords with people, and if you ever need to get rid of them, you can pretty much use LastPass and remove all their access. So that's a really good software that we always suggest. So don't just give them access to all of your stuff, your bank stuff. Like, protect yourself, right? If you do want your executive admin to have access to your bank account, just put things in place that says, hey, every time they log in, they got to receive a text message, right? Before a withdrawal or something happens, you got to do a text or a second authentication or something like that. We want to put these barriers in place, just because at the end of the day, they are foreign. They are, in another country. So they could rip you off if you allow them to. But you got to make sure there's barriers in place that protects you, and make sure that no matter who comes into your business, that you're protected. So just be careful sharing sensitive information, and slowly get things as you build more trust with this person. In the description, you're going to be able to apply to work with us, and I'm going to be able to come in and set these systems up completely for you. Meaning, I interview you, I make sure that this person is a good fit, and I interview them, right? And I'll make the match and make the connection for you guys. But usually there's a bigger thing to also look at, just as your business as a whole, when it comes to the systems that are necessary. So that's what we do. Look, if you got any value from this video, make sure you like, subscribe, share this with someone else who also might get value from this. And this was something I just wanted to share. It's a random conversation. So we're going to drop more of these type of conversations on our YouTube. So make sure you stay locked in. Reach out if you need any help. I'll see you on the next one.